Since Skyrim's release back in 2011, countless mods have followed, ones that have explored new frontiers and pushed boundaries year after year. Mods have been getting exponentially better as time passes, and nothing speaks more to that than what we've seen in 2021. It was this resurgence in mods that motivated me to begin uploading on this channel. Today I want to share with you guys a series of mods that I wouldn't be seen playing without, ones that could be viewed as a staple in anyone's load order. One aspect where Skyrim really shows its age is in its animation. I'm not just referring to the animations that can be seen in the base game, but the lack thereof for certain in-game actions. Immersive Interactions animates a variety of actions that enable you to interface with the world around you in a believable way. For instance, looting no longer teleports items directly to your inventory. Instead, when looting a corpse, your character will bend down and visibly inspect the body for items. For crates and chests, the players will open the lid to search for the contents inside. For items out in the world, you will physically reach out to grab them. The character will bend down for items on the ground, and reach upward for objects above. There's a brand new set of animations for dungeon mechanics that provide some much needed refreshment to Skyrim's dungeon crawling experience. Your character will reach out and pull chains to open doors and interact with traps. Interacting with one of the many Dragonclaw doors in the game will result in your player character reaching out to manually rotate the puzzle pieces and physically place the claw within the center to unlock the door. When interacting with the puzzle pillars, your character will wrap their arms around the pillar and turn it accordingly. With this mod, status now somewhat plays a role in your interactions. For example, when approaching a Jarl, you will salute them out of respect. If you're a Thane, guards of your hold will show you that same respect and salute you accordingly. When holding E in proximity to certain static objects in the world, there is a unique interaction that takes place. If done so near a practice dummy, your character will briefly shadow box in front of the dummy, providing a temporary boost to health and stamina. Interacting with wood piles plays an animation in which your character will carefully pick up the wood and stack it in their arms. If this mod is used in conjunction with the mod Skyrim Souls, you get additional animated actions, such as when reading, your character will physically open the book and flip through the pages accordingly. After playing Skyrim for so long, this mod adds some much needed refreshment to actions that may have become mundane, and I definitely recommend trying it out. When Skyrim initially released, I found myself gravitating towards playing in first person because the immersion from that point of view was unmatched. With time, Skyrim's modding community focused on perfecting third person with the introduction of new movement and combat animations, leaving much less to be desired from playing in first person. I happily traded immersion for the fluidity of these new third person animations. But that changed for me earlier this year as my perspective shifted back to first person with the release of First Person Combat Animations 2.0 Size Matters. As the name suggests, this mod aims to overhaul Skyrim's dreadful first-person animations. The issue with vanilla animations lies in the repetitive and unrealistic nature. There is a lack of weight behind your strikes, and the impact when hitting an enemy is virtually non-existent. This mod aims to rectify that by taking advantage of the dynamic animation replacer to add custom animations for every single different weapon type recognized by the vanilla system, resulting in over 60 new animations that include all new attack, power attack, block, and even some new idle animations. Swords now feel like they slice and cut through your enemies with precision. Daggers stab instead of slice and come with a new set of sleek unsheath and idle animations for both single and dual wielding. Maces now feel as though you're dealing crushing blows to your victims and causing blunt trauma. These animations hit a perfect balance between realism and fluidity, and I highly recommend them. The next mod is Odin, a minimalistic magic overhaul that aims to seamlessly integrate into the vanilla magic system in a balanced way. It improves and fixes pre-existing vanilla spells while adding a plethora of new, high-quality spells, many of which are inspired by previous Elder Scrolls games. Each of the schools of magic is touched upon in a unique way. The original School of Alteration from the base game is highly underwhelming. Odin introduces a wide range of utility and quality of life spells to Alteration. It does so by expanding upon the Alteration spells that manipulate your body, and provides abilities that increase your speed while running, sprinting, and swimming. Although Alteration will make you into a powerhouse, if you choose to pursue this specialization, you will have comfort like no other mage. This could be seen in convenient spells like the one that allows you to fabricate a multitude of objects ranging from beds to bridges to alchemy labs to tanning racks. Spells that enable you to summon an infinite underground storage, as well as a spell that lets you loot everything from bodies in a nearby radius. In addition to buffing your physical attributes and armor, you can now increase your resistances as well. With each of these buffing spells, there is a corresponding debuff that could be used on your enemies. Odin also makes improvements to existing alteration spells such as telekinesis, making it a viable offensive option, as it now does more damage and scales with your alteration level. Moving on to the School of Conjuration, Odin makes it much more viable, especially going into the late game. It adds a vast amount of lore-friendly summons such as the Dreadshade, which drains stamina from its enemies and reanimates its victims. There's also the Houndmaster, a powerful Daedra that summons a set of Daedric hounds to fight at his side. In addition to adding a plethora of new summons with unique attributes, Odin makes some fundamental changes to Conjuration as a whole, such as making summoned and reanimated minions scale alongside the player's level. Additionally, the level cap for death thralls has been eliminated and they no longer despawn when traveling between cells. Odin also adds a variety of spells to buff your minions, providing you the ability to take a different approach in combat by fighting in the back line. Among the new master spells for Conjuration, there is a spell to summon a Daedra that will destroy itself in combat, releasing a powerful shockwave. There's also a spell to summon a Daedric wolf mount. The spell sets for destruction in the base game provide you with one kind of spell for each of the 3 elements and follow this pattern through to the end game. Odin maintains this theme, providing 7 additional spells for each of the elements, totaling 21 new destruction spells spread throughout the levels. I especially like the striking spells. These imbue magic into your weapons to be unleashed during power attacks. Odin also adds a new set of touch range spells for battle mages that only work when up close. These are very reminiscent of the touch spells from Oblivion. There are 3 new master spells that are both powerful and balanced. Summon a lightning storm that rains down on your enemies, or amass a torrent of fire, or a devastating black winter. Odin makes illusion stand on its own as both a resourceful and offensive school of magic. In the late game, illusion becomes virtually useless due to opponents exceeding spell level cap. Odin rectifies this, making illusion spells work on targets above level cap, but with a chance of failure based on the level difference. Illusion is given a wide range of stealth gameplay supporting spells. This could be seen in spells that identify a target's weakness to increase sneak attack damage, as well as spells that cause you to vanish, making all opponents in the area stop searching for the caster immediately. A noteworthy spell addition is Shadow Legion, which causes all people and creatures to be attacked by illusions for 20 seconds. The master spells of illusion are an exceedingly powerful area of effect version of the baseline illusion spells of Fury, Calm, Fear, and Courage. Odin introduces a variety of offensive spells to the School of Restoration. It expands upon the sun spells introduced in the Dawnguard DLC, providing an effective means to contend with the undead enemies you'll encounter in Skyrim. It also adds a full lineup of poison spells to boot that rival any of the schools of destruction, therefore making restoration a viable offensive option. Although let's not forget about the healing aspect of restoration. Odin balances restoration by making the higher level healing spells into concentration form, so you can no longer heal a vast majority of your health in a single cast. For all those looking for a minimalistic yet impactful magic mod that stays true to what Bethesda intended, then Odin is for you. I was only able to scratch the surface of what Odin offers. I could make an entire video focused on showcasing this mod alone, but for the sake of time I'll leave it at that and move on to the next mod, which is Additem Menu. A very simple mod, but one that provides a huge quality of life change for anyone that is serious about modding Skyrim. This mod provides you with an item that upon activation gives a list of all the ESP and ESM plugins that you have installed. By selecting one of the options, an inventory window will then open that provides access to all the items from that particular plugin, in which you could then take any item and place it directly into your inventory. If you can't see how useful this is at face value, then let me put it like this. Imagine you just downloaded a weapon mod and you want to instantly receive that weapon. Prior to downloading Additem Menu, you have to search for the weapon's item ID in the game's console, and then use that item ID in conjunction with the Add Item console command to place it in your inventory. No longer is this necessary with that item menu, and for that reason it secures it a permanent place in my load order. Another mod that is simple in its execution but can be viewed as essential in any playthrough is Immersive HUD. We spend so much time perfecting the visual aspects of our game, but there's always parts of your HUD such as the health bar or compass impairing your full view. Whether it be for immersion purposes, for admiring your graphics, or taking screenshots, Immersive HUD does you the favor of taking the permanently visible HUD elements and hiding them when they're not needed. For example, the crosshair will only become visible when using a weapon, casting a spell, or hovering over an activatable object. The magicka, health, and stamina bars appear when consuming the respective resource or taking damage, then conveniently disappears once 100% of that bar has been regained. The compass could be toggled on or off with the use of a hotkey that's configurable in the dedicated MCM. The menu contains a plethora of other options to tailor your HUD experience to your personal preferences. A big shout out to those that made it to the end of the video, but chances are you're one of the 98% that hasn't subscribed yet. Consider doing so, as it would be greatly appreciated. And at the same time, be sure to show some love to the mod authors, because none of this would be possible without them. Links to their mod pages could be found below. And as always, thank you for watching.